Here is my 1989 Ibanez RG570, and I have obviously removed the neck from the guitar, and in the process I discovered something very interesting. The body is stamped with a RG570 number, and which the guitar was purchased as a 570, but what I found on the neck was that the neck stamp is a 550 RG550M. I'm not sure what the M stands for. It might have to do with the frets that were placed on this neck, which are a medium fret. But also in the process, I discovered a glaring problem, and that is that this neck right here, you'll see this little, that's a chip. I have re-glued the fretboard down to the actual neck. It's been repaired, and I am in the process of doing a fret level. And you can see that I've done a pass over the frets, and they are very flat right now and real dull from the sanding. And you'll notice that there's a pretty good deep gash right here in this second fret. You can see the mark. I colored the frets blue to see my any depth or divots in the neck, to expose those. So here we see the fretboard has been blued, the tops of the frets. You can see that color of blue on top of the frets. And I'm using my block that I picked up from the Hobby Habit. It's a perfectly flat filing bar, and it allows me to get these frets perfectly level. Another detail is that the top of this fretboard has been leveled perfectly with no strings on the guitar. It's a 25.5 scale, meaning the distance from the saddles to the nut is 25.5 inches. I have leveled this perfectly with my fretboard leveler to make sure that I have a good flat surface to file the tops of these frets off, to know that it is absolutely perfect when I'm done. And again, this ding that has the money spot right here on this fret, the second fret, you can see that very pronounced. That will remain. There will be a little bit of that left. I don't want to take the frets down that low. It's likely that the next time I do a level on this, it will require either refretting the guitar completely or buying a new neck. We put no pressure on the file. The sanding bar, absolutely no pressure. And I'll continue to do this until I get it down to where I like it, and then we'll crown them. I've made a second pass with the file, and they're looking really good. You can see that the tops of those frets are very flat, which is where my crowning file will take care of, to put a crown on the very top of those frets, so that the string makes the smallest amount of contact with each fret as is possible. That gives you good sustain and good intonation. So I just wanted to show you that. And this second fret that received the most damage, it's the money on the guitar, is definitely getting into better shape. And this first fret, you're seeing that the marks are starting to come out of this. So we'll begin to make another very light pass over this guitar with a sanding bar. And we'll be back to show you a little bit more. I made my final pass over these frets, and I have them all flattened out. You can probably see how flat these guys are on the tops. And we don't want a big flat surface like that. We want a nice rounded top, a crown on the top of these frets. So at this point it is time for me to crown these frets with a crowning file, a very specialized tool that allows me to put that curve on the very top of each fret, and we'll get going with that right away. I am doing the fret crowning, and you can see the material next to the frets that I've crowned, and they're a bit shinier and rounder. And as we get to this fret right here, I have not crowned that yet, and you'll notice that the top of that looks very flat. It's not rounded off like the others. Getting a fret polish on these guys. I have completed crowning the frets, and here's the infamous second fret that had that great big divot in it, and as you can see, it's virtually gone. There was enough material on that that I would have had to remove, that I left a small amount of the damage in that fret. It'll be fine, especially after I do a polish on these guys. It will be virtually unnoticeable. So this is what the frets look like now. Real nice. We'll try and get a couple of angles on these guys so you can really see how nice and crowned these frets are. So I am going to get to polishing these guys. Well, here we are back with the fret level, and we have leveled all these frets, and paying close attention to this second fret right here that had a big old ding in it, a divot from bending and playing here where the money is in the guitar. This fret is generally on most guitars the one that gets the most abuse. This one also. This guitar had never been leveled since I purchased it in 1989, and it has been leveled, polished, cleaned, well, within reason. I kind of like the mess on these frets. I like the way it looks, and in honor of guys like Eddie Van Halen and Jeff Beck, if you clean their guitar neck, they'll kill you. So I'm doing the same thing with mine, and the next process I have to do on this guitar is this. This is the Floyd Rose Tremolo system that I've taken off of the guitar. It's licensed by Floyd Rose, manufactured by the Ibanez company in Japan, and this will be completely disassembled and cleaned and brought back to life. Floyd Rose, all cleaned and shined and oiled. Took about an hour and a half. Are afraid of these? I'm not. If you have one that you need some work done on, get a hold of me. Grand Stereo and Music. Well, the 570 is all back together again. Got the neck back on it, and I just wanted to take a shot of that after we've done all the work on the Floyd Rose, getting that cleaned up and lubricated and everything. And the springs are back on the guitar in the back here. You can see that, and may have to adjust it a little bit when it's all said and done. I left the adjustment springs here right where they started, so I shouldn't have to do anything, but who knows, with all the fret work and other work that's been done on this guitar, it may need a slight adjustment. Again, if you have a guitar that you need some work done on, or isn't, you know, behaving correctly, or you got issues, or you just want a fret polish or something, you want somebody to do it for you, you can bring it to me. I'd be happy to take care of that. It's always nice to have a guitar that's just perfectly set up. I mean, these frets are mirror-like right now. I mean, they're beautiful. So I have the nut put back on this guitar and the string tree. It's not adjusted to the proper height. It needs to push those strings down so they wind onto the machine heads correctly. And I am going to polish up this headstock before I put strings on it. But I've been using Super Slinky 9 to 42 on this guitar almost since the day I got it. I did switch to D'Addario strings for a while, but with a Floyd Rose, it is a good idea to not change brands of string. You want to use the same brand, the same gauge, and everything, unless you're ready to do a royal makeover on the spring setup in the Floyd system with string tension versus the springs in the back of the guitar. It is a very good idea to use the same brand and size of string, 9 to 42 on this one. Well, there it is, all strung up, in tune, sounding beautiful, all clean. Tremolo bar works. That's how a guitar should behave with the Floyd Rose. They stay in tune better than virtually any other setup that you could have. You know, I've cleaned this guy, profusely cleaned it over the top. Intonation is perfect. This guitar is in tune up here at the 12th fret, as well as at the nut. My string action here at the nut is about 15 thousandths, which is awful close, but that's how I like this guitar set up. The action is really super low, effortless to play. Neck relief is set at 8 thousandths here at the 5th fret, and so we have a very, very slim contour relief in this neck. It's really nice. We have set the string height. It is dictated by the saddles here, and there's a bottom plate on these saddles here that I'm not sure if you'll be able to catch how these work, but each one of these pads that the saddle sits on here, each one of these pads is following the contour of the neck, or the radius of the neck. And we can look at that here. You can see the curve of the neck here. The neck has a radius right here. I believe this guitar is a 16. I didn't even bother to measure it because the intonate, or the radius, is already covered by the saddles and the design of this Floyd Rose, so it makes them real easy to set up, and you don't have to worry about string height so long as you don't shuffle these saddles around, and you can kind of get an idea of how those are curved like so. So this guitar is all set up, ready to play. Again, I can perfect tune every time, never goes out. I'll hang this guitar on the wall in 6 months from now. It will still be in perfectly good tune. Polished it all up. I didn't bother with the body of the guitar. I can clean that up at a later time. There you go. So set up a fret level crowning, and setup of the Floyd Rose, and cleaned it all up. If you have a guitar like this and you're off to work, you want to drop it off with me and let me work it over for you, so when you get home from work you'll have this to look forward to. Maybe look back at some of the earlier shots that I've done of this guitar, and you can get an idea of what these frets look like before and after. No more damage here at the 2nd fret, and I've played it just slightly, just a little bit today. The thing is just beautiful. So hope you all enjoyed, and if you need a guitar worked on, whether it be an acoustic or a guitar with a Floyd or a hardtail or a telly, anything, you can bring it to me at LeGrand Stereo and Music. You can ask for me. You can call us at 541-963-5933. We do offer the best guitar setups on this side of the state, maybe in the entire state, and I am speaking for myself and Stu Hensley, who has Mojo. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and because my mom says I don't put my face in the videos enough, hi Mom, peace.